New in some of the IRSA tools are a couple of features that I wanted to highlight. You might know that the Extract Line tool allows you to draw a line across images. You can either draw a line or you can have it select a line or a column. It used to be that you had to shift-click on all their loaded images to get the same line on other images, but now if you pin chart or table, it will allow you to do that same line on all the images you have loaded and load it all into one table or load them into multiple tables. When you have images loaded that have multiple HDUs, as I do here, you can have it extract a line through all of the HDUs if you want. And because these images have long and complex titles, you can ask it to use the full image title in the column or table headers if you want, or it will use abbreviated ones. So when you go to Pin Chart Table, it is then creating that same line on all of those images in one big table. The other new feature is in the mocks, the multi-order coverage map, that are overlaid on images for some of these search capabilities, like this one, which is in the Data Collect and Explore, or DCE. For really small footprints, it's still just the same linear outline that there always has been. But for bigger footprints, it is no longer just a line. By default, it's this filled in region because it now is more obvious where there are data and where there are not. And moreover, as you zoom in, that region where there are data becomes more and more transparent. Since the whole point of being able to search on top of an image like this is to let the features of the image in the background guide where you are placing your search position, it doesn't make sense for that mock to stay opaque as you're zooming in. Here, the closer you zoom in, the more transparent that mock becomes until you're close enough that it reverts to just the line and is completely transparent so that you can guide your search position based on what the image is underneath. It's much more obvious in the case of, say, Euclid, where in this case the yellow is planned observations and the red is the released observations. In this particular case, it was particularly confusing because so much of the sky is not going to be observed and so little of the sky has already been released. It's much more obvious now by having the mock filled by default to know where there are data or where there are planned data. If you don't like this, just like before, you can still change how it's rendering this. You can force it to do an outline, force it to fill, or force it to do just a mock tile outline. This is the auto setting. So those are the most prominent of the newest features available in these tools.